KC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, an interesting day today with ups and downs in the temperatures and the rain chances. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but certainly the warmest day of the year, depending on how you do the rounding, either 89 or 90 the high today, making it the warmest day of the year. But at least the dew points are down, so that's making you feel more comfortable. Tonight, nice and comfortable. Tomorrow, clouds come back and humidity edges backward as well. And then we will see maybe a slight chance of a shower tomorrow. Good chance of storms Saturday, so let's get to it. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Our weather shot coming at us from Justin Terro. Behind those storms, the skies cleared, the sun came out, and it felt really good briefly as temperatures got into the lower 70s around lunchtime, but back into the upper 80s late this afternoon. So let's kick it upstairs. Look at the satellite imagery, and again, active weather from Texas all the way up through the Midwest with flash flood watches. And mind you, all the rain that's falling across these basins are getting into the Red River, also the Mississippi, the Ohio. So the water levels on the Atchafalaya have been abnormally high over the last couple of months going back to February, and they're going to stay high this month and June, but not expecting any higher levels than we have previously seen so far this spring. And that is the good news. The bad news is the water's still quite high. Meanwhile, as we get into Texas, we continue to see strong showers and storms. Might see another round developing across western portions of Texas, so severe thunderstorm watches in effect there. And like yesterday, we got to be on the lookout for a little bit of a perturbation that may get out ahead of these storms as they roll off to the north and east. Like today, we talked about it last night, those outflow boundaries or atmospheric perturbations sometimes will ignite showers and storms in our region. Even though the models were going 10%, we wound up going 20% late last night, and we busted on that as well. About a 50 to 60% chance of showers and storms during the midday hours today. In fact, as we look at the Doppler radar, you can see those storms pushing on through the area quite quickly. And late this afternoon, it's been fairly quiet with the exception of a few cells up towards central Louisiana. The cell earlier that we saw near LeCount is kind of falling apart. Now we see a few more cells back in western Rapide. So rain chances this evening, primarily early this evening for central Louisiana. The rest of us relatively quiet. Now moving into tomorrow, here's the severe weather risk primarily back across Texas, but a marginal risk edges into Louisiana. This is for Friday night till Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Now, we are not hatched in for any severe weather Saturday, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get thrown into a marginal risk category by the Storm Prediction Center later on tonight for our Saturday. You can see the storms erupting late this afternoon, intense storms across Texas, and watch the beginning of the loop. Here's that little outflow boundary we talked about right there popping up and edging out of that one big mesoconvective complex. We'll show you that one more time again as we go through the loop. All the big storms in the northwestern part of the state, and then those storms firing up, and then late this afternoon, those big storms across Texas. Meanwhile, in the tropics, not concerned with this, but a little bit of an area of weak low pressure across South Florida, the Bahamas, creating the environment for some locally heavy rainfall. Just a 10% chance of this developing, so we're not overly concerned. So let's get into the models. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Still the risk of a few showers and storms across central Louisiana. Maybe a sprinkle mid-morning, pre-dawn hours, and then getting into tomorrow. Highest rain chance, I think, is early in the day, and with storms developing back to the west, that should induce a little bit more in the way of high pressure. So a sun and cloud mix tomorrow afternoon with temperatures well into the 80s. Then getting into tomorrow night late, that's when the action begins to arrive. So the RPM model showing much the same. Not much shower activity on this model, but we'll keep it at 10 to 20% for tomorrow. But then as we head into Saturday, I think the model's got a good idea with showers and storms entering the area mid-morning and then crossing the region during the midday hours. Could see some locally heavy downpours, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, and then things will quiet down. We think by mid to late Saturday afternoon for sure. As for rainfall, this is what the RPM model is going for. I think it's a good idea. You know, some folks not catching a whole lot, others catching 1 to 2 inches of rain in isolated spots. That means maybe an isolated 3-inch rainfall somewhere nowhere that could cause some localized street flooding, but we're not expecting widespread flooding. So 68 the low tonight. Nice evening tomorrow. AM clouds, some afternoon sun. 86, 87 the high. We'll keep rain chance at 20% tomorrow. 80% we'll say early up until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Saturday, 1 to 2 inches possible. Sunday looks good. Monday looks pretty good as well. And then the rest of next week, it looks like a favorable pattern for an unsettled pattern. That means daytime showers and storms, the possibility each and every day, with temperatures continuing in the 80s and lows in the 70s.
So we hit 90 today, and then we're getting right into that pattern.
Yes,
so
the
soon.
daily dousing pattern. That
the rinse
could
and
certainly
repeat.
Yeah, exactly
All
right.
Thanks, Rob.